Hello, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0, and we have yet another list coming out that is another one of the supposedly confirmed lists from supposedly very reliable sources that everybody is staking their credibility on, whatever. People get really overzealous when it comes to these ban lists. Anyway, I figure as long as ban lists are coming out, I might as well discuss them, and I might as well, I suppose, create a formula for talking about them so that I can just get through them, get to the point, and let you guys go for the rest of the day. So with this list, along with all the other ones that I'll be talking about, I'll read you guys the list, I'll briefly talk about what I like, and then I'll get to what makes this list look credible, what makes this list look sketchy, and then finally what that list would mean for the next format. So let's read off the list for you. First, we have Newly Forbidden. All the babies got hit. Oh, poor choice of wording on my part. So Burner, Lightning, React, and Stream got hit along with Spellbook of Judgment. 2-1, we have Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Rooster, Genex Ally Birdman, Mermail Abyssteus, Wind-Up Shark, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Number 11 Big Eye, Divine Wind of Mist Valley, Super Rejuvenation, Abyss Fear. Then we have Neo-Spacian Limited. We have Gladiator Beast Bestiari, Gorz the Emissary of Darkness, Neo-Spacian Grand Mole, Black Whirlwind, and then we have Unlimited, Tsukuyomi, Wind-Up Magician, Advanced Ritual Art, Emergency Call, Pot of Duality, Scapegoat, Mirror Force. So the things I like about this list. Personally, if the ban list were a democratic process, this would get my vote. I absolutely love this list. First thing I noticed, it kills the Mist Valley loop, and I absolutely hate that deck. I don't know if you guys have played against it online yet. It's another one of those degenerate decks that takes like half an hour for a turn and you end up getting burned to death without really having gotten to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm glad that they would be getting rid of that now before it comes out, if this turns out to be true. I like that they killed the babies. Oh, wow, I'm really full of bad wordings today. But I like that the babies got forbidden because I think that that's the way to handle the dragons. Without the babies, the mono dragon deck is too slow to be viable. It's too underpowered to be viable. So the dragons would just go back to their original purpose, which was to support elemental decks, which would be great. I love them for that. That's how they should work. So I like the babies getting banned. I like Grand Mole coming back to 2 because I like Grand Mole, and I kind of like Gorz coming back to 2. And the reason being, I just don't know what Gorz at 2 would look like in a format like this. It's an incredibly fast format. I really thought for a second there was somebody standing right next to me over there. Sorry. Anyway, we've obviously never seen a format with Gorz at 2 because it was at 3 and then it got emergency limited to 1. We've got a really fast format right now, so I think Gorz would be a really interesting thing to have at 2. Just to see what would happen if we slowed it down. It would make those decks that run very low numbers of traps a little more viable. Things like, say, Drunk Doppel, one of my personal favorite decks, or the Random Plant deck that I'm working on and I'll talk about later. So those are the things I really like about this list. I also like Pot of Duality coming back to 3. That's pretty cool. So the things that make this list look credible. First, once again, the banning of the babies. I think that is exactly the way that Konami would handle taking out that deck. It would basically slow it down so that it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be a deck anymore, and hitting the babies doesn't hit any of their profits at all. It doesn't kill any of the cards that they'll be making money off of, like limiting dragons would do, so that makes sense. Spellbook of Judgment I'll talk about in a second. I think hitting the loop is definitely something that Konami would do. Because, well, we've seen in the past, Konami frequently hits cards in anticipation of loops coming out in the TCG, and I think that that's what they would be doing here. I think that the Abyssteus getting limited somehow makes it a little more credible. And this actually brings us back to a point that I made in my first ban list video, which is that Konami has kind of a set order in which they take things out. They hit loops first, which they did here, then they hit things that special summon from the deck, which Abyss Fear and the babies both do. Then they hit things that allow you to search for cards, like Abyssteus, and then they hit cards that allow for bigger setups, things like Birdman, of course. and then Super Rejuvenation as the extra draws. You know, after that they just kind of go on case studies. So all of the things from the various decks definitely followed those criteria, which makes a lot of sense. Bringing back Gorz and Grand Mole is another kind of thing that Konami would do, bringing Tsukuyomi to 3 after bringing it up to 2, and then Ara up to 3 after bringing it to 2. It's the kind of incremental raising that Konami does. Same thing with Mirror Force. Scapegoat to 3 is a little bit sketchy. Bringing back Duality makes some sense, though, because the sheer number of control decks that Konami will be promoting soon. E-Emergency Call I'm not sure about. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of motivation for that, but, you know, it just not being too good anymore is, I suppose, might be a motivation enough. So what makes this deck, or this list, sorry, look a little bit sketchy to me are really 3 things. The first, I'm going to say it, Spellbook of Judgment going to 0. Konami has never banned a secret rare the set after it came out, particularly with the second printings that are going to be coming out soon of Lord of Tachyon Galaxy. The fact that Lord of Tachyon Galaxy is still out there on sale, it's still in production. I just think that it's not the kind of thing, Konami's never done it, and it's not the kind of thing that Konami would do right now. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Rooster to 1, oh, that would be a killer for the profits off of Judgment of the Light. Really, I think that Rooster, Wolfbark, Star Eater, and what's-its-face, Armades are the only 4 things holding up profits for Judgment of the Light. If Rooster goes away, Rooster's the biggest one right now, Judgment of the Light would tank. People wouldn't buy it as much anymore. If Rooster's to 1, they would only need the 1. It would be easier to get, you know, and people wouldn't buy as many Judgment of the Light packs. Let's be honest. The set is already tanking in price pretty heavily as far as cards go, and Rooster going to 1 would just solidify that. And really, it's a new card that just came out in the TCG. Once again, hitting a secret rare. The set this time during the set that it came out in. There are just so many things that are sketchy about Rooster. And the one thing, even with those 2 in mind, the one thing that makes this list scream fake to me, and this is just my opinion, I'm not claiming to know this, it could turn out to be absolutely legit, and which would kind of blow my mind, but with the fact that they flipped Shark and Magician around. Even with the Rooster and the Spellbook of Judgment in here, I would understand. I would be like, okay, there are good reasons for them to hit those, at least, even though it's just, it doesn't make sense, I suppose, in profit terms, or it's just something they've never done before. When flipping Wind-Up Shark and Wind-Up Magician, this just looks like something that somebody made up because they were biased as to which one was better. This is the kind of thing that a person who had a really low opinion of Wind-Up Shark would do. Like, there were so many people saying, oh, Wind-Up Shark should have gotten hit because it was the really broken thing in the deck. And with Wind-Ups being so singularly irrelevant to this format and to the next format, I think that flipping Wind-Up Shark and Wind-Up Magician is just the only kind of person who would do that is a player who had a really strong opinion about limiting Shark instead of Wind-Up Magician. It just doesn't make sense that Konami would do that. If this format turns out to be real, it would be great. It would be a almost totally balanced format. We would return to a very slow format. We could build up from there. It would really strike power creep hard. It would be an interesting format, adding in new elements like 2 Grand Moles and double Gorz. It wouldn't bring back Gladiator Beast like people say. It would improve control decks because of Pot of Duality coming back. There are just a lot of good things that would come out of this format. Trishula, I said it before in my 3rd ban list video. The only reason why they would bring back Trishula is if they have a reprint, which would mean awesome things for budget players, let me tell you. But it would also mean awesome profits for Konami to bring back Trishula and make a reprint of it. So if this list does turn out to be real, I'm calling it now. We are going to see a Trishula reprint announced in the next month. So that's that list. That's my discussion of it. I hope you guys like it. If you have your own thoughts about it, or if you think that I'm a total dumbass going into this, and this is totally legit, then of course hit those comments below. And if you liked the video, which I hope you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why. And then subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thank you guys for watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0, and I got a jet. Thank you. Whoa, thank you. I've never thanked you guys before. Woo! What am I turning into? See you guys.